the game,
I just wanted to get your take. That was it.
I appreciate you. Got my blood pressure up. So, all right. So here's the news of the day. If you guys are on Patreon, you probably already read this, which that's one of the perks of being in the Patreon group. You get to see stuff that we're going to be talking about on the show early. As we're kind of feeding these articles into the system. And there's a lot of cool perks to join the Patreon group. Just scan the QR code in the upper right. That'll send you to patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. If you're just a member of one of the 3 tiers, the cheapest tier, $3, you get access to everything on the site. We're also going to be uploading videos. Thanks for Chalk Talk moving forward. We do giveaways. We're actually giving away an autographed Mason Crosby card with a piece of a jersey patch on it. We're going to be doing that tomorrow. So if you are a member of at least the $3 tier on Patreon by midnight tonight, we'll make sure your name goes on that wheel, and we're going to draw that live on the air. We just mailed off 2 autographed Lucas Van Ness jerseys to 2 lucky winners that were supporting the show in that regard. It also includes YouTube members, but I always tell people, man, for $3 you get a lot more bang for your buck being on the Patreon group as opposed to a YouTube member. So
that's the clearance rack deal right there. The Patreon group.
All right, so here we go, gents. The news of the day, breaking news. Packers reportedly scheduled top 30 visit with Georgia edge defender. Say it for me, Amelia.
Mykel.
Basically
Mykel. Here's
the guy.
Just say it like you've been drinking, right? Mykel.
Right. Yeah.
Mykel Williams out of Georgia. So obviously a higher touted prospect. This is somebody you're looking at for the 23rd pick. I don't think he's going to last much longer than that, but in the write-up, put the Green Bay Packers reportedly scheduled a top 30 visit with Georgia edge rusher Mykel Williams, according to sources cited by ESPN, marking him as a prime target for the 2025 NFL Draft. Williams currently slotted at the number 22 spot on our PTA big board, impressed at the NFL Combine with his 6'5", 260-pound frame and 34-inch arms, offering the Packers a dynamic edge defender with the potential to elevate their pass rush alongside Rashawn Gary. So let's go back where it started. Could you imagine lining up across from him in high school, Emilio?
Thick.
I'm a pissed off kid right there, don't I?
Flip the defense. All right, I'm coach. I'm going in motion. I got motion over here.
I feel you, Tim. That's the same vibe right there, man. All right, scouting report coming out of high school. A 5-star recruit from Hardaway High School in Columbus, Georgia. Mykel Williams entered the 2022 class as a top-tier talent, standing 6'5", 245 pounds. He blended size with speed, reportedly clocking a 4.6 40-yard dash. His senior tape highlighted a relentless motor, explosives get off, and raw power, making him Georgia's number 2 prospect. Anybody knows anything about Georgia, man, they're churning out the prospects. Number 2 prospect in Georgia, the number 7 overall player per 24/7 Sports. Initially committed to USC, he flipped to Georgia, where recruiters saw him as a future star with rare physical tools. So he was at USC, flipped to Georgia. Here are his college stats. Williams' 3 seasons at Georgia showcased steady growth within a stacked defensive line. As a freshman in 2022, he recorded 28 tackles, 4.5 sacks, and 6.5 tackles for a loss in 13 games, contributing to a national championship. His sophomore, so he had 4.5 sacks as a freshman on a national championship team. That's pretty wild. His sophomore year in 2023, he saw 18 tackles, 4.5 sacks, and 7 tackles for a loss across 13 appearances, earning second-team All-SEC honors in 2024 despite an early ankle injury. All right, so this is where we're going to get an injury report here in a second as well with the scouting report. In 2024, despite an early ankle injury, he posted 21 tackles, 5 sacks, and 9 tackles for a loss in 13 games, nabbing second-team All-SEC. Career totals, 67 tackles, 14 sacks, 22.5 tackles for a loss, and 3 forced fumbles over 39 games. Now, here is PFF grades, and I think I can read these. They're a little bit small. In 2024, he finished with a 78.4 grade. I think in 2023, that's a 78.7. It might be a 76.7. And then in 2022, he had a 71.5. So, I mean, he's gotten better pretty much every year. He's stabilized the last 2 years, looks pretty solid across the board. He's a physical freak. Look at that run defense grade, guys. 82.9 run defense grade. So
15 hurries last year also, and 2 batted balls,
There you go.
And
good stuff.
With the injury, like you said, having a little bit of a injury issue, I think 2024 might have been his best year.
Yeah. What do you think so far, Emilio?
Not mad at it. A dude at a talented school that we've gone back to many times. For a linebacker, for a D lineman, might as well hit up the edge while we're at it. So I'm not opposed.
Yep. All right. So it says detailed scouting report entering the draft. Measured at 6'5", 260 pounds at the combine, William boasts a sculpted build with 34-inch arms and untapped athletic potential. Post-injury, he ran a 4.73 40 at Georgia Pro Day, but pre-ankle sprain estimates had him at a sub 4.6. With a 36-inch vert. In pass rush situations, he leverages a quick first step and devastating bull rush. I'm telling you, speed to power, one of the things that Greg Cosell talks about all the time. You've got to be able to rush the quarterback with power.
You have to.
It's the must-have. He said every tackle I talk to when I go to these tackle clinics, these offensive line clinics all over the place, they say, yeah, you better be able to bull me. You better be able to bull me because you're not going to beat me with finesse. You're not going to beat me with these fancy pass rush.
Chops, spin moves, rolls, try to bend.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, if you can win with power, you can play off of that. I think one of Rashawn Gary's problems is he wins with power. And listen, a pass rush move is that straight arm. I'm telling you, Rashawn Gary's got one of the best straight arms. He'll literally just get underneath the shoulder pad and just lock out and use his power to drive them straight back. I think the problem with Gary is you see him in the offseason, he's working on the feet, he's working on the hands, he's working on the
squat and swim, and
pin your damn ears back and go get that dude, because that's what you're good at doing, right? And I don't think it's a coincidence either. Rebrovich gets fired, right? He gets let go. Why? Why did the pass rush take a step back as well? There's just a lot of different things that come into play here for sure. Chuck in the chat, Goody likes his Georgia prospects. There's no two ways about it.
Especially this one. He's barely 21. Uh-oh. Goody DiCaprio.
6'5", 260. I'm flying, Jack.
We got to cut that. We got to clip that one for sure. So in pass rush situations, he leverages the first quick step and devastating bull rush using length to keep blockers at bay. His versatility, lining up from a 3-tech to a wide 9, makes him a fit for Green Bay's aggressive 4-3 scheme. While his run defense is stout, setting the edge with authority, his pass rush repertoire needs refinement beyond power moves. A full recovery could unlock a top-tier edge with all-pro upside. So here's the RAS. It's somewhat incomplete, but again, his height was a little over 6'5", scoring him a 9. His weight was 260, scoring a 5.29. He actually came in at 260, but he played last year at 265, 270-ish. So thick. He was trying to cut down weight, probably because of the ankle, and he wanted to make sure he could help recompensate for that 40-yard dash. But he ended up running a 4.73, which at his size scored an 8.15. 20-yard split was a 2.76. 10-yard split was a 1.65. So it looks like the strongest part of that 40-yard dash was the top-end speed, right? So once he got cruising. There was no bench press, no agility rating, and no explosive testing there. What do y'all think about the RAS? There's not a whole lot to glean there, but I could see him. When you watch the tape, he looks more like a 4.6 guy than a 4.7 guy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I love that he was a solid 6'5". I love that he filled that out and that wasn't a fake number. Look how big his hands are 10 and a quarter, and his arms are 34 and almost a half. When we were talking about Chris Paul being at about 30 and 3/4. So he's got another 4 inches compared to a linebacker, and we're back to arm length talk. But it's for a DN, I think a little bit more, a little bit more necessary number just to take a peek at. And then to his injury, Greg Rice answering his own question after some research, said he had tightrope ankle surgery. The failure rate for tightrope fixation is around 4%. And finishing it off, I thought ankles were hard to fix, but it seems the opposite. So again, it's kind of that same thing like Ravel. If you get him in the building, or at least you watch enough tape, he's produced enough. At some point, someone's going to get hurt. At some point, someone's going to get injured. I tore my ACL. I kept running on it afterwards. Like you're going to have to play at some point through an injury or post-injury.
And AFAM went on to say, Greg, stop trying to grab your own ankles. Look at Tim, how disgusted he is in this group. Tim, you're going to have to keep him in check, man. I can't do it. I can't.
I can't either.
All we can do is not put the chat on the screen, which I kind of enjoy doing it, to be honest. So, all right, moving along. Injury and character concerns. Williams suffered a high ankle sprain in Georgia's 2024 opener against Clemson, missing 2 games and playing limited snaps early. He bounced back late in the season, and recent updates show him hitting 20 miles per hour in rehab sprints, per NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, with clearance expected by summer. A 2023 toe injury kept him out of the spring practice, but he's avoided major setbacks otherwise. Off the field, Williams is a model prospect, high football IQ, praised by Kirby Smart for leadership, and no character concerns. His resilience through injuries only enhances his profile. So
I think he's running out of the first.
Yeah, those last 2 sentences were key.
Yeah,
definitely. And then you got draft projection. Williams' draft stock rides a wave of pre-injury hype and post-injury caution. Before the ankle issue, he was a top 10 lock. All right. Now he's a late first-round consensus, with ESPN's Phil Yates ranking him number 3 among edges and number 20 overall. We got him in a 22 spot. That's pretty cool, right? Phil Yates, we don't even have him on our board, so that's really neat. There's that sandwich again. Bleacher Report slots him at number 22. The Packers picking at 23 could pair him with Rashawn Gary to form a fearsome duo, though teams like the Falcons at number 15 or Steelers at number 19 might jump earlier. His upside screams day 1 starter, but if injury concerns linger, he could slip to early day 2, unlikely past pick 35, given the premium on edge talent.
Yeah.
What do y'all think here?
Yeah, we're not grabbing him in the first round. We're not grabbing him, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, he's not going to be there at 54. What's our second round? Oh, here it is on the ticker. 54. Look at that. Yeah, 54. Yeah, I don't think he makes it there. I don't think he makes it to 23, honestly. And I don't think Goody's going to move up, to grab him.
So we're seeing a multitude of players now, right? That's like, man, if they fall to us, Emilio, yeah, let's take them. But we keep like Jahdae Barron's like, man, I would be surprised if he goes top 10. You're seeing this with Williams, with Mykel Williams. If he proves to be healthy, and I'm sure he'll get other top 30 visits, and he goes in and hey, look, they like what they see. He may go top 10 too. Who knows, right?
Yeah, and taking a Georgia guy's right up Goody's playbook, so I wouldn't put that past.
What?
Yeah, I wouldn't put it
past. He likes Georgia
thing.
Guys? Are you sure?
Especially a 6'5" one with 82-inch wingspan that's ready to just go play edge with a bull rush. I mean, let's go ahead and line up Rashawn, LVN. You rotate in D Wyatt. I mean,
yep.
Yeah. Greg Rice says Mykel Williams edge in the 15th spot for PFF and NFL mock draft database. There you go. So,
and he's not even projected to anybody on mock draft database. Like everybody else on edge from Abdul all the way down to Nick Scorton are projected to a team. He's the only one that's not.
Yeah. Weed says in the chat, yeah, he probably doesn't make it to 23. Respect Orange is saying I'll be surprised if he's there.
Asking the chat this, would you take him if he's at 23? Yes or no?
Who else is on the board?
who said that?
No, I'm asking the chat right now.
Right.
Y or N, or just let me know what you guys think. Are you taking him at 23 if he falls?
Right. Let me put it this way. We've got him again. Let me go ahead and drop this down, and we'll get the board back up. We're going to kind of troubleshoot this together here, see what we got. So if you look at Mykel Williams here in the 22 spot for us, right? There's one spot placeholder. There's a reason it's showing 23. Let's say the board falls exactly how we expect it, or the draft night falls just like our board, okay? Which means when we pick at 23, let's say Mykel Williams is the best available on our board when we pick at 23. Would you take it? That's the way we need to ask that, right? Because like Tim said, who else is on the board? I mean,
yeah,
is Kenneth Grant sitting there?
Yeah, is Walter Nolan still on the board?
Right. So all those things come into play for sure. And it is interesting to see that the Packers have been interested in Walter Nolan. He's in the 18 spot. Mykel Williams is in the 22 spot. And that was a top 30 visit there. Shamar Stewart was a top 30 visit. What we say about him? He might drop a little bit, right? Because of his rawness. So, and then of course you got James Pierce Jr. is another one. One thing's for sure. Goody's got his eyes on those edge defenders in the first round, don't he? Like it seems like
it. Yeah.
It seems like that's where he's now. It doesn't mean he doesn't have a handful of players at other positions that he don't even need to scout. Like, hey, we got our information. We know they're the dude at 23. That could be the case too. But very interesting. Drew D says, I noticed the Packers. Thank you for the super chat, Drew. I noticed the Packers have a lot of visits with first rounders. That tells me they aren't sure how it will play out and want to nail that top pick. That's a good point. It's a very good point.
I agree.
And it kind of, maybe I'm wrong, but it kind of makes me feel like there's very, very little chance they trade out. Because if they were going to trade out, you might see them doing top 30 visits with, late first, early seconds type guys, right? So, but again, that's assuming our board looks similar to Goody's. It may look night and day, right? But
Goody got a hold of our board. He would just close the laptop and slide it back to us and say thanks, but no thanks.
He'd say, "You're so cute." He'd pat you on the head. Get the hell
nicely done. Nicely done. You guys can go ahead and get out of here.
Exactly. All right, let's see here. Greg Rice in the chat says, I hope they change something in trying to get the first round pick right. Yeah, that's been a big conversation of how many times they've missed on the first round here recently. I don't call LVN a miss yet. He could very well be. He finished with, I want to say, an 11% pressure rate, according to Next Gen Stats over at NFL Pro. So I can't write him off as a miss yet. Now, you'd like to get a lot more out of the what pick was that? Do you guys remember? Was that
LVN? 13?
Yeah, 13. That feels like if we compare it across the board here, that would suggest if we, at 13, and if the draft was completely the same this year as it was the year we took LVN, we would get someone like a Kelvin Banks, offensive tackle out of Texas, Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle out of Michigan, Shamar Stewart, edge out of Texas A&M, Jahdae Barron, corner out of Texas, Shador Sanders, quarterback out of Colorado, Colston Loveland, tight end, Walter Nolan, Emeka Egbuka, we've talked extensively about him, right? Yep. Mike Green, Jahad Campbell, folks like that. I like to think that, someone up there around that 13 mark, like a Will Johnson, James Pierce Jr., Kelvin Banks, or Kenneth Grant.
Jahdae Barron,
you would expect them to play a little better than LVN has, but you've also got to take into consideration LVN can only play the snaps he's given, right? Yep. And when we do that heavy rotation at edge, like he finished with over an 11%, pressure rate. I don't know, man. Maybe it's because we went to the Tennessee game, Emilio. I just remember him. He terrorized. Absolutely terrorized Will Levis.
I still stand on the fact of you need to give these guys 3 years and then that working into your fourth year, if it's going to happen or not. I mean, at least then you can say, all right, we gave him a completely fair option. If it was injured the first year, let's get him another year, then we can move on. You already have him on the contract. Why worry about it? Why stress about getting him off the books? I mean, the year after you draft him because you think he's terrible. Like, I don't get that. So let's keep him for the 4 we have it. Let's move forward with it. And then to those first round picks, I think we ran down those numbers one time, but we had only, 2 first round picks in the top 10 since like the 2000. It was like BJ and Clay Matthews were the 2 picks. And then you say that we miss on everybody else. We're also picking in the 20s most of the time because that's
a big part.
Because we're winning. I mean,
right. That's a big part. That's where LVN, like, I understand the frustration with people.
Right. Yeah. No, I get that.
And I'm not off of him. I'm with you, Emilio. I'm like, hey, let's see what he does this year. This is year 3, right? But yeah, the rest of them, you're spot on, man. Like Tim, what he's talking about, you're taking guys toward the back end of the first round. You can't expect them to just go out there and be absolute studs. We hit on guys in the second, third, fourth, all throughout the draft, right? Tucker Kraft was a 3rd round pick. Who was it? Zach Tom was a 4th rounder, I believe, right? Evan Williams was a 4th rounder. Obviously, you got Edgerrin Cooper in the 2nd. But that first round is kind of that we know these guys aren't going to be around later in the draft. And I think that's typically where you get into that ball clay type mold.
Yeah, absolutely. And it has me kind of like thinking, I was kind of in the camp of Goody might trade here. This is great. Weed right here in the chat. I think it's a better chance they trade up than down. And that's kind of where my head's been kind of going based on these visits and what we're starting to see is like for all the talk about Goody trading out of that first round pick, I think he may just move up if he's, like you said, if he's got high grades on these guys, we're meeting with a lot of first round potential picks. There may be somebody that he's in love with and, he's willing to move up in that first round and try and, get over the first round curse that these fans seem to think that we have with draft picks. So I think there's a chance it could happen. For the longest time, I thought he was going to trade back and load up, second, third, fourth, fifth round picks. But I think there's just as much of an argument that Goody might try to move up from 23, move into that 15 range or 16 or something.
Right. But to your first thought, Tim, of them staying back, even if they go back 3 spots, 2-3 spots, and there's still like kind of the Jaden Reed effect where you have this many edge defenders you've already looked at, you're ready to go. There's still 3 on the board. Let's go back 2 and go with, we're completely fine with taking any of these 3. That's still the, so I think
that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Like, you don't have to trading back doesn't mean you're necessarily out of the first round.
Right.
You could trade down to the bottom of it.
We're going to stress when we see the and then the trade has happened. We're going to be, all right, that's it. We're out of the first. It was terrible. We're only going to go back 1 spot, and we're going to pick up three picks because Goody just told him it's the best idea.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Weed in the chat said, if you want to cut LVN, compare Trey Hendrickson's first 3 years to LVN's first 2 years. Very, very good point. If that's what you're going off of, you would have cut Trey Hendrickson, and he never would have turned into the player that he did. Now, the LVN and the Goody haters, they do not want to hear that. That's for sure. So, because that was the guy that they were all stomping on the table for all off season long. So, again, it's not everybody. I've got to be better at not trying to group all fans into the same, you know what I mean? But they're out there. There's no doubt about it. All right. Anything else, guys? I know Keith hopped in here and says, great show as usual, guys. Hey, thank you so much, Keith. Thanks for making us a part of your evening here, buddy. Anything else y'all want? Another prospect y'all want to look at here? We got a couple minutes, or we can wrap it up either way, man.
I don't really have anyone on the.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. All right.
Nobody that I don't think we've already talked about.
Right.
I'm fixated on edge now. We've been talking about edge.
Yeah.
I think
we've talked. Full circle, Tim.
Yeah. I mean, we broke down, Nick Scorton, Shamar Stewart. What's the kid from Boston College? Ezeraku, Donovan Ezeraku. That's another one.
Yeah.
Where's he on our board, Ezeraku?
Ezeraku, I just seen him. We've got Ezeraku in the 28 spot, Tim, and the Packers did meet with him. Obviously, got ties to Jeff Hafley. I'm pretty sure that he didn't transfer in. He played under half.
Yep.
So I'd be okay with that at 23. That's in that range, right? It's in that ballpark. And when you get in that same range of that cluster of guys where you go, hey, these guys are pretty much in the same tier or within one tier of each other, you go, okay, is there one that really sticks out to you? Whether it's, work ethic or it's just maybe the handful of tools that you got, whatever it is, right? That I could see Ezeraku being one for sure.
26 hurries, 20 quarterback hits, 14 sacks. Yeah, he's a guy. There's a guy.
Yeah. What do you think about him? You'll be okay with Ezeraku at 23?
Yeah, I think that's why you're going to go ahead and spread out your information net. You're going to cast that net and figure out all the edge defenders, see who you can get an eye on in person, see what you can get information-wise, and kind of tighten that thing up and see on draft day at pick 20, where are we? At pick 21, where are we? Do we need to move up? Are we liking what's going to happen if we move back? And then play the phone game. I think that he's probably already calling the 3 or 4 AFC teams that are behind us, trying to figure out if we want to trade to them or anybody in the NFC, not in the North, that we can, maybe flip something with.
Yeah, Drew D asked a question here. Omar Norman Lott, that's the name, or that's his name. Or are you guys interested in him in the second round?
UTD line.
Yep.
I remember when we looked at, we had a graphic that showed pass rush and pass rush win. I can't remember what all was on it. Let me see if it's. I think we got rid of it. We did get rid of it. We ran out of space. Surprise, right? But anyway, my board's got him a little bit lower here. We got him in the 124 spot, Drew, and here's why he's there. In PFF in 2023, he was 227th at his position. In 2040, he dropped all the way to 327th at his position. PFF Big Board had him in the 50 spot. Consensus Big Board had him 63. Kyle Krabs had him 58. Dane Brugler had him 78. And his RAS was he got 0 points, so it was at least less than a 7. So it doesn't seem to have elite athletic traits. The PFF did not grade him very well. the thing that if we remove those PFF grades, he would be a second-round pick on our board. Right, Emilio? I mean, you'd be averaging out 50, 63, 58, and 78. So the PFF's what brings him down so far for us. So that's where we got him, Drew. And again, it doesn't mean he's not a second-round talent. It's just how we build the board. And I'm going to ride this out too, man. I think it's awesome. And I got to get your all's take on several players, and we'll do this some other time, obviously. We got a lot of players that are being held down on the board that are being ranked really, really high right now, because the consensus big board had them so low at the end of the football season. So we need to make a decision. Hey, do we want to put an updated number, maybe meet in the middle on that number? We'll talk about that at a later time. We got plenty of time as the RAS stuff is going to begin to finalize a little bit more. I would say by April 8th or 9th, definitely by April 10th, we should be able to get all of the information in other than Daniel Jeremiah's top 150. That usually comes just a couple of days before the draft starts. So
the only thing I would just say about Omar is that he didn't play a bunch. He played, but we're looking at about 200 snaps a season. Around 600 and change total. His pass rush grade at 81.6, run defense of a 68.1, true pass set 88.3, pass rush win rate of an 18%, run stop rate of a 6%. They and Tennessee's defense, they would always flip to the strength. So they would that's how kind of James Pierce, they sort of get him alone on the wide nine. That way you didn't have to fight through a tight end or anything. You can kind of just tee off on the tackle. So that defense is always flipping if there's a motion happening to get him to the strength.
Right. Judy says your board was very good last year. It was. And here's the thing, like the way that we set it up, so it really harnesses all the buzz that goes into the draft season. I feel like we get the majority of them right, but some of those late risers are legit, you know? Yeah. So that's the ones we're going to miss on. So you'll see a handful of those, but for the most part, I think it's going to be, and here's what's awesome. We're going to be looking back next year and we're going to be going, I know Emilio, we're going to be diving into it again next year going, it's even better this year. Like we're going to
in a month or two from now, we're going to be like, why didn't we do it like this? We need to put this column in there next year. And I'm already thinking maybe a height weight column. I know that's been asked for a lot. We reference it a lot. The issue is just trying to carry that over when we're bringing it across. Do we need it now and all that? But no, I do. I'm excited to always kind of add to it. We're going to add to it just talking about this next step. So,
yeah, definitely. Tim, you got any parting thoughts, sir?
Yeah, just again on edge defender, Quandarius Robinson out of Bama, a good probably fourth, maybe late third, early fourth, possibly fifth round guy. If you're looking for some mid value, been watching some tape on him. He's kind of a work in progress, but I think that could be a mid round steal there at edge.
That's interesting because that's a perfect example, Tim. On our board, we got him in the 223 spot. He was 32nd in his position in 2024. He was 90th on the PFF big board. That's going, hey, man, that's going to put him in the ballpark of second to third rounder, right, with those two numbers. But the consensus big board at the end of the college football season had him in the 330 spot. That's what's pulling him down.
He only played 9 games last year, too. So I don't know if he's maybe he's coming off injury or something.
Yeah.
Okay, I just can't let us leave. But really quickly, I know we're over. Desmond Watson out of Florida, 6'6", 464 pounds.
Did you say 460 pounds?
No, he ain't thick. This man's dangerously obese is what's going on.
Bench 225, 36 times. Are we taking him or are we taking him as a UDFA? Are we pulling the trigger in the 7th round? What are we doing?
Emilio. Sounds like a created character on college football. That's what it sounds like.
I can't even find him on PFF.
He's not on there. He had his the Florida had their pro day on there today. So
listen, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, you go. I was trying to pull up.
Who? Quandarius Robinson that Tim mentioned, right?
Yeah.
330 is the number we got on the consensus big board. Currently, he is sitting in, go back here. They call him K Robinson. It looks like QUE, but 181 is where he's at. He peaked at 110. You see what I'm saying, Tim? Like that's that's what's pulling him down. Should we put in the 181 right now for him? Is that one of those that we go, yeah, probably should do it or no? What do you think?
I don't know. I'd leave that up to Emilio, the board expert here, because I'm doing a little just a read on him real quick on his profile. I mean, there's a lot to like, and then there's a lot to be desired too. So I don't know. Okay. PFF's got him at 119 right now. So
okay. And the number we have in is 90, so our number is actually a little better than that.
Actually higher, yeah.
I was going to say the only thing we could do, we can throw in another column and kind of weight it if we really need to when we go back and look at these guys, but we can dive into that later on.
Yeah, cool. Just something to think about. And I want to get the chat's take. Like everybody in the Patreon group, let me know what y'all think about that. Would y'all rather us some of those? Not all of them. We're not going to do all of them. We're just going to do a handful that, like, man, the consensus big board early grade or early ranking is really pulling them down. We'll get your all's take on it too. So we'll see what everybody says in there. So again, if you want to be entered into the giveaway for the autographed Mason Crosby card, make sure you're a member on Patreon by midnight tonight. Just a $3 membership.
Up there by Emilio's head there.
Yeah, as he's laughing.
QR code. There it is. There you go. Here's a guy.
That guy's blood type is Rocky Road.
Yeah, with that Rocky Road.
I'm not a doctor.
That Rocky Road, he's running a 5.9340 with a
blazing speed,
25-inch vert.
Whew.
Oh man!
Hey, he over 400 pounds. He ran a sub 10
over 450. Tim,
yeah,
over
man.
450 pounds. I want to see Jalen Hurts squat him. You know what I'm saying?
What's his name again, Amelia? We're so far over right now. What's his name again?
Desmond Watson.
Desmond. That's one of the first names that popped up. That's hilarious. Like everybody's Googling this cat right now. Let me get you guys. Oh my God.
That is, I mean, he is.
I thought Deion Walker was big. Look at this guy.
That's an earth mover. I mean, that is a DA.
Earth mover. That's an earth crusher.
That's a DA cat dozer just cleaning up the zero guy.
No, this dude looks like a cook down at the Waffle House, bro. Like, I'm not even lying. Tim, what do you see this cat, bro? We're deleting an image just so we can get this.
You want to run the tush push? We got a player for him.
That's the ass mask. That ain't the push tush push whatever. I mean, this is. What do you guys see this, Tim? This
I mean, him and our boy at the Packers game hanging over the bar. Remember our belly boy hanging over the bar?
Oh, no, he looks like Brad Pitt compared to this cat. Are you kidding me? Bro, look at this. Bang. Look at them legs, boy.
Here's the guy.
Look at the guy in the background. He's like, I can't even watch.
Yeah, but check it. Higher vertical than Tom Brady.
No way.
Put it on the ticker.
Put it on the ticker.
Oh, my gosh.
Of course that's true, right? The greatest quarterback in the history of the game. This dude has a higher vertical than okay. If you listen real close, you can hear that Jordan symbol going. It's really tight there, boys. Really tight. I can't do this show. I'm done. This show sucks.
Anything heard it from a fan right here.
Respect oranges more rolls than a bakery, boys. All right. That's it. Appreciate y'all hanging out. Don't know why you do, but we're very thankful for it. So make sure you hit like, hit subscribe. We'll see y'all in the morning at 8:30 a.m. Central for a little Good Morning Lambeau. We'll get in here and talk some more draft. We got a couple other articles. So actually, a little teaser just so you know what we're talking about. We're going to continue with the edge theme, the top 7 edge defender breakdown, according to our board. We'll give you all the height, weight, all that stuff, kind of how they stack up against each other. And we'll go with that in the morning. We'll kick off there. We might get to some offensive line talk as well. So if you guys want to get a sneak peek of that in the Patreon group, just make sure you're in there, and you can go right there on the homepage. You'll find it. The title is Top 7 Edge Defender Breakdown. Go give it a look, and we'll talk about it in the morning. Everybody have a great night. Take care. And
we go. We're out. Bye, guys.